My only question is, what the hell ever happened to that guy? Sounds like a total keeper. I wish I heard the rest part, but that's the only part of the story we get to hear. Part 2 another time. We'll see what happens. I have a handful of things I would love to share with you about story stuff and a few other things. But before that, I want to share with you one important thing. And it is, there's a door right in front of me. And I open the door and I see a woman sitting behind a desk, and she's looking down. And I walk up cautiously, I walk up to her and I say, and I kind of whisper, I say, my counselor told me that I had to come here. And she looks up. She looks at me and says, are you suicidal or homicidal? I didn't realize those were the only 2 options. I said, no, what? I'm not suicidal or homicidal. I don't want to kill anybody. I don't want to kill myself. Thing is, sometimes I just don't want to be alive, you know? I see her check a box on her list. She's got a box. Suicidal or homicidal. I see the one she checks. It's the S word. Okay. I wait in the lobby. 2 feelings. 1, hopeful. I'm hopeful because I know I need some help. 2, I'm scared out of my fucking mind because I have no idea what's on the other side of those doors. And a woman comes through that door, takes my hand, and leads me down the hallway. Opens another door, and believe it or not, inside that door are 2 more doors. I'm like in fucking Willy Wonka land. And the door is to a tiny room. It is 2 feet by 2 feet with a little bench. I sit down, she hands me a bag. She says, put those on. Before I do anything, I want to tell this woman, I'm not suicidal. The woman at the front desk made me choose a box, and that's the one I chose. Earlier this morning, I was at my counselor's office like I am every Friday morning, and all I said to him was, I really need someone to talk to. Take a walk in the woods. And he told me to come here, and here I am, and I don't know if this is the right place. And all I want her to say is, yeah, this is the University of North Carolina Psychiatric Hospital. This is a really good place. It's the right place. She says none of that. All she does is take my backpack, doesn't tell me why, leaves the room, shuts the door. Now I'm alone on this little bench in a room that's 2 feet by 2 feet, and I got nothing. You want to know what's in the bag? There's a greenish thing, kind of a top, and a matching bottom. Not too dissimilar to this. And I do what I'm told. I put it on. I put the top on. I put the bottom on. But there's more. I didn't see it on the bottom of the bag. There are these socks, and they're aqua blue, and they're super fuzzy. And I'm sitting on the bench, and I put both socks on my feet. So I'm greenish here and here, and aqua blue here and here. And then I notice on the bottom, it's like a little sticky. There's white rubber on the bottom, and I'm thinking, I am ready. I know I need to get some help. I want to let them know. I want to let them know that I need help. So I open the door, because there's a couple of doors. I open the door. Go to open up the other door to let everybody know, hey, okay, you know, I put my stuff on, got my fuzzy socks on. Let's get this shit going. I got to get better. And it's stuck. You know, I try again. It's stuck again. And I realize that I'm locked in. I haven't been there 20 minutes. I'm locked in this place. I start pacing, but there's nowhere really to pace because it's like a 5 by 5 spot, and this is what I do when I start to get anxious. Backwards, forwards, in all different ways. I start to pace. I don't know what to do, and I can see the window in the door. People are just going by, doing their thing. They're just, you know, doing their jobs. And nobody's looking at me. But eventually she comes back, the same woman, but she's not alone. She's with a guy who looks like a cop. Maybe a cop, like uniform might be a cop, definitely mustache of a cop. And she says, come with us, follow us. Remember, I'm ready. So I do what I'm told. And I'm following them, and she's in front, and he's in behind, and we're walking down this crowded hallway, and nobody's dressed like I am. And I asked this woman, I said, where are we going? She said, we're going to the 3rd floor. I said, third floor? I thought we were going to the fifth floor. I thought the psych unit was on the fifth floor. And she says, no, 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 we're not going to the psych unit. We're going to the psych ER. Well, that's curious. I start to ask another question. I hear a voice from behind me say, don't ask so many questions. I'm talking. The mustache man behind me says, don't ask so many questions. It'll make your stay here a whole lot easier. Now, I've got questions, because who would not have questions in this kind of situation? But I've also noticed right here, he's got a gun. Now, I know absolutely nothing about guns. What I do know is this gun could probably put a really big hole in my face. So I don't ask any more questions. And I follow him into the elevator up to the third floor, where they lead me into the emergency room behind a mustard-colored curtain. And they lay me down on a bed, and they leave, and they say nothing, and I'm looking up. And I'm looking up at these lights. You know those lights that are rectangular, and they make those little sounds, because that's what I'm hearing right now. And I'm hearing other sounds, not quite like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest type sounds, but not that far away from that. The kind of sounds you don't want to be hearing. The kind of sounds you can't ever unhear. And at some point soon thereafter, a couple of people come in, and I'm lying down looking at these lights, and they're doing things to me. Like they're putting things, checking things, doing paperwork, they're talking to each other, they're not talking to me at all. And some point soon thereafter, they leave and they don't say goodbye. I imagine just doing their jobs. They're going to their next patient. And I have no idea what the hell I'm doing here, or what I'm supposed to be doing here. There's a bed, there's a little side table, and there's a little TV, and I turn it on, but it's all that, like, nothing happens. Like, there's nothing on the actual TV. So what am I supposed to be doing? And I'm also thinking, the woman took my backpack, it's got my phone in it, and nobody knows I'm here. So I think, maybe I should call somebody. Think about my sister, let her know I'm here. So I remember the mustard color, I move the mustard colored curtain, and I go outside and I find a guy in a white coat. You know what that means. This guy might have some authority. He's got a white coat on. So I say, hey, can I make a phone call? I want to let my sister know that I'm here. And he says, go back to your room. Confused. I say, no, I don't think you understand what I'm trying to do. He cuts me off. He says, no, I don't think you understand. You go back to your room, I'll send your ass to the basement. And he's nodding his head just a little bit, He turns around and walks away. And he looks back and he says, and if you think this is bad, And I'm standing there in my fuzzy blue socks. And I'm thinking two things. One, yeah, I do think this is that bad. Two, I want to go downstairs and talk to that receptionist and change my answer that I checked. From suicidal, And maybe this is the right place for me. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I go back to the room like I'm told to do, and I'm waiting for, well, again, I just don't know. And the next day, a man appears in my room. He comes in. He's about my age. I think this guy, he's the doctor. You know what I mean? He's got the doctor look. He's got the doctor sort of vest on and the doctor glasses and this beard. He's got a really clear, like big, I don't really know if it's a doctor beard, but the dude had a beard. And he sits down and he says, how you doing, Sean? And I'm thinking to myself, you don't give a goddamn shit how I'm doing. You can hear it in his voice. It's a question, but you're not listening and you don't care. So I answer his question with a question. I say, how do you think I'm doing, Doc? This is a tense moment. I mean, you're not usually supposed to answer a question with a question, especially when you're trying to get out of a hospital. But I didn't know this because I learned while I was there, at least in North Carolina, 48 hours minimum. And that 48 hours is coming up. I had to talk my way into this place, and I succeeded. And I don't know what the hell to do now, so I simply say, Doc, can I get out of here? Please just let me get the hell out of here. He doesn't say anything else. And he asks again, and I know he's getting frustrated because I'm not playing the game how are you feeling? There's a little anger in his voice. And I say, how am I feeling? Look around this place, Doc. Have a listen. How do you think I'm fucking feeling? Side note, don't say shit like that to a doctor. It's never going to be effective, but that's what I said. I'm losing a little bit. I know. This is a weird spot to be in. I also know he's a doctor and he's the guy that's going to decide if tomorrow I get out or not. And I actually don't know what he's decided. And he's leaving the room, but before he opens the mustard curtain and leaves, he looks back at me and he says, you know, Sean, with that sweater and that beard and those glasses, everybody here in this hospital, they're doing the best they can. Everybody here, they're just doing their jobs. Thinking about that guy in the white coat, but I don't say anything. Okay, doctor, and he leaves. And the next day comes, and I don't know what's happened. And two big dudes come and get me. I think they're orderlies, because on TV, big dudes are orderlies. I don't even know what, I don't know. But they actually escort me, and they're kind about it. And they're taking me to the elevator, and still I don't know what's happening. Do I go down, get my stuff, and leave, or do I go up to the 5th floor to the actual psych unit? I still don't know. We get into the elevator, and one of the orderlies presses number 5. And we go up, and they let me out, and they sit me down at a table near a big window, and they leave, and I hear somebody say, you need to come with me. And I'm not sure if this person is talking to me or not. And then I look back, and he's coming a little bit closer, and he says it a little bit louder, and he says, you need to come with me. And I'm thinking, I've been here 2 days, it feels like 2 months, and this place sucks, so go fuck yourself. And I mean it. And I'm waiting for this guy to push back just as hard, even harder. Bring it on. I got rubber on my socks. I ain't going anywhere. Well, I don't know a damn thing about this guy. He looks like he's a middle-aged nurse. I imagine he's dealt with this kind of stuff for many, many years. Dealt with all kinds of bullshit. I don't need to know him to know that. And hey, he could say anything he wants right now to me. Anything. He could do just about anything he wants right now and get away with it. But here's what he does next. And I've got to tell you, if it were me, if I were in his shoes, I don't think I'd have done this. He smiles. And he asks me, do you want anything? And I think he's joking. Like I said, 2 days has felt like 2 months. So I say to myself, I'm going to go all in. You're asking me if I want something? Oh, yeah. How about a cup of coffee? He nods his head, starts to walk away. Before he turns the corner, I say, hey, hang on. Cream. No sugar. And I sit down at this big table. There's a giant window, and I'm looking out. It's the middle of the day. There's this huge sun. University of North Carolina, and there are students, and there are teachers, and staff, and they're walking around just living their lives. And a few moments go by, and then I feel a tap on my shoulder, and there he is. And he didn't bring the cup of coffee. He didn't. He brought 2. And he hands me mine. There's cream in it. And we sit down, and he says, hey, I'm Vernon. And I say, hey, Vernon, I'm Sean. And I take a sip of the coffee. No sugar. And we talk. Me and Vernon, coffee and conversation. And I stay at that hospital for 5 more days. And I never see that doctor again, that one with the big beard. But I wish I did. And if I ever do, I want to tell him something. This place didn't help. Not at all. Kind of made things worse, and I didn't get what I needed. I don't know if you know Vernon up on the 5th floor. He knows what he's doing. He gave me exactly what I needed. And oh, by the way, Doc, one more thing. You're right. Everybody here, they are just doing their damn jobs. You're right about that. But Vernon, he is doing it a whole lot better. Thank you. That's how we roll in the world of Story World. That's what we do. Listen, a couple of quick announcements, and then I hope you can continue to refresh yourselves with these. We got wine and mezcal, and I don't have a lot of things to promote. I just want to say